Hello everyone, thanks very much for joining me. I'm Dean, this is Woodwork Journey, and today we're going to be looking at this Hyundai 1400 watt 30 litre capacity with power takeoff, £99, 3-year warranty, vacuum cleaner. And I'm going to let you know the good stuff and a couple of things I think could be improved. Let's get into it. The only thing that I've done that's non-standard on this vacuum is to fix one issue. That it's not an issue, it's a thing that annoyed me or frustrated me. And that is, and I'm going to go straight off the bat with this one, this hose. The hose is not super flexible, and also because of the ribbing with it, when I was using it on my track saw, it would catch the side of the track. So I got this sheathing off of, that looked dodgy, off of eBay, and I'll leave a link to it down below, no affiliation or anything, but yeah, I just got this, and that helps make sure that I'm a little bit safer when I'm using the track saw. Now then, it looks a bit cleaner as well, but yes, I think this hose could be more flexible, but it is in the budget range at £99. So do you need that? I don't know. This seems to have fixed the problem that I had with it though. Okay, so doing the dry stuff to start with, it's 1400 watt, it's wet and dry, it's 30 litre capacity, 240 volt, so it works on UK mains plug, it's £99, it has a 3-year warranty, and this has a HEPA filter as standard, rather than an optional extra, which I think is excellent. We're going to be doing some testing on this in a little while as well, and I'll show you what the airflow in reality is like, rather than just looking at the figures on a page, and I've also just thought of a test that might be able to kind of test the HEPA filter. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to work, but we'll see about that in a little while. But before we do that, just while it's up on here, you've got your extendable thingamajig, so that always helps. You've got the long reach thin nozzle, you've got the brush nozzle. It comes with an adapter, which I think is really good. It's only one of these flexible thingy adapters, but it means that you can fit onto most tools that you've got. It's got the floor thingamajiggy if you want that. And I don't think I've got anything else on there for the moment. Now, the only thing that this does come with that isn't on there at the moment is this. Well, this pipe actually clicks onto here. And I took it off because I found that this would actually connect to a whole bunch of my tools as it was. So I didn't need this extra handle, and I don't often do the floor sweepy thing. And if I do, then I can use the what's it called? Adapter with the long thing, so it all works out fine anyway. So yeah, so I don't need this particular piece, so we got rid of that one, but it's worth knowing that you've got it. Anyway, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Okay, so first and foremost, to get the hose in and out, it's just a single click. You've got a couple of little noggins either side that you can move that with. Pop that down there. That gives you access to the inside here. On the sides, you've got a lever here, and you've got a lever on the other side as well. That means that you can pull them up, and then you can just access the top nice and easily. In there, you can see that we've got the HEPA filter. Now, this is HEPA rated. There are something actually probably to talk about for a second, is that there are a lot of sort of products, not just vacuums, but products that look the same. And essentially they come, I'm going to do a video about this later down, but they come in the same sort of look. There's a lot of tools that do look the same, but the individual companies can approach that factory and say, right, well, I want that as the base model, but I want you to add such and such and thingy and that paint and also that motor, and in this case the HEPA filter. So the HEPA filter does come as standard, which is on there like so. Now you can pull that off, and in there you'll see that there is, I think there's a little ball in there. Yeah, there's a little no, it's not a ball, it's a little round weight. And if you're using this as a wet vacuum, it comes with a little foam thing that goes around the outside that I've put somewhere, which covers this to stop any debris going in. But as this fills up, if it's not got the bag inside, obviously, then the little jobby on the inside floats up to the top as well, and that stops water being able to get into the motor, which is just a normal wet and dry thing, but worthwhile talking about. But what I do want to highlight though is this HEPA filter, because not a lot, especially budget vacuums, come with one, because they are very much a nice to have. Now, Now I have got a bag on the inside of this. Now currently the bags are not sort of reusable. I've asked Hyundai about that to see if they're going to be able to do that. They don't know if they'll be able to get any reusable bags, but if I find some at any point, I'll make sure that I do put it down in the description down below. Now obviously you've got that HEPA filter in there, so you don't necessarily need to use a bag, but I'm using one because I'm doing a lot of MDF work, and so what I want is to make sure that I've got as much kind of filtration as possible. Now if you don't use a bag, then basically everything's going straight at that filter, so it's going to get a lot more of a hard working out. On the back of the machine right here, this is the exhaust port, or also what you would use if you're blowing. You would attach the hose to that, and then that'll be your blower, which is reasonably powerful. Right, this little bit here is to hang the hose on, which is fine. The only thing about these things, because we've got all these little holes and half moons all around the top, which are brilliant for putting tools on and all that sort of stuff, which is ace. But even when you've got like just this end on there, it doesn't fit on any of the things. Do you know what I mean? So you've got this on the end of your hose, and you go, well, I'll just store it and stick that on there, and it doesn't fit on anything, which is just a bit frustrating. But yeah, anyway, that's just when we unpacked this in the living room. Vicky, my wife, got very upset about the fact that, well, why can't you just put this on? Anyway, that was a thing. Now then, what else have we got to look at? The power takeoff. So like I said, this power takeoff is something that I haven't used before, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. Now, on the top, you might be able to see there's a button there. Now, it looks like a Tonka toy. I'm not going to lie, I don't like the button, but I understand why it's the big print that it is. It looks like it's made for kids, you know, but it's there because it's easy to turn on and off. You can see it from a distance and all that sort of stuff, which is fine. It just looks naff, but it performs a function. Now, when it's on number 1, it's doing a normal suction. But when it's on number 2, like that, then it's working on the power takeoff. And let me show you how quickly it kicks into gear with that. There you go. I wasn't counting. But what happens is it runs over after you've turned off, just to clear anything that's in the line in the hose or sort of stuck in there. So that's why it continues to run afterwards. But it does a grand job. So we have got a couple of tests to do. Now, one of them will be the volume. I've got to think about how I'm going to do that because I'm using the phone that I would ordinarily be checking it with. So yeah, I'll think about that in a second. We're going to see if we can measure any level of MDF dust that comes out of the back, out of the exhaust, when it sucks a load up. And when it comes to the volume, by the way, I should probably say that that when I have been using my track saw, my Erbauer track saw, the track saw has been louder than the vacuum. So much so that I've cut it and realised that I forgot to put this on number 2 and it's been on number 1 or something, and so it hasn't come on. But I couldn't hear it anyway. So just in a real world example, that's that. We've also got to check how hard it sucks, and I'll compare it to the suckage of my main system that goes through the shop. Okay, so we've got a decibel meter going on right here. Apparently it's relatively accurate, according to the App Store at least. And what we'll do is we'll see what we've got going on. I've got this about 90 centimetres to a metre away, thereabouts. But obviously we're going to be using the hose. And so I will suck up all this sort of stuff while we're here. I mean, should I put some over here as well, just in case it makes a difference? Maybe, I don't know. Right. Let's get going. I'll be quiet for a moment. We'll see what the ambient thing is, noise, jobby, loudness, decibels, and then we'll turn this on. And stop this rocking, because that's going to be annoying. Now, I have no idea what that came out to be. However, what I'm going to do as a comparison is plug in my track saw so we can see how loud that is. Now, this is the brushed corded Erbauer, so yeah, we're all safe. Let's get into it. And also, just for S&Gs, let's go with a brushless power drill. No idea what those numbers came out at, but hopefully it gave us an idea of something. Right, so this one is a little bit more tenuous because I don't know if it's going to do it or not. But what I've got is I've got the vacuum set up here. I've got the exhaust pointing to my PM 2.5 meter thingamajig. Now it reads at the back, so that's why I've lined the exhaust up to go straight past the back. And I've just used my plane to make a load of MDF shavings all around here. So let's have a little look and see what we're reading at the moment. Around 8 or 9. So we'll turn that on, we'll suck these up, and in my thinking, I might need to just hold that down when it does it. My thinking being that if the HEPA filter isn't doing its job, then we're going to see a relatively high reading with this MDF dust, because it is just dust. Right. So I don't know how scientific that was, but you know, it's all I could think of. So hopefully that helps. And again, I can't remember what the number was. Okay, now it is the competition between my normal dust collection and this. Now I've not done this before, but we're going to do it straight from here, and we're going to be doing it with the hose. Now, like I said, the hose is very corrugated, so it may make a difference, but we'll have to wait and see. It's reading 0 at the minute. I don't know if it's going to be coming up on screen. I hope it will, but it's reading 0 at the moment. Let's get that on. .9, around about 35 thereabouts. So let's see what happens when we pop the hose on. Okay, so that was showing around about 30. I don't know if you could see it on camera, but it was showing around about 30. All right, let's have a little look and see how my normal system stacks up. Okay, so I've opened the blast gates. So I've just got this hose that comes from above, and very much like this one, this hose is annoyingly kind of stiff as well. But let's get my main system on and then we'll measure it. Well, that's devastating. And that's with my big old pneumatic in the corner there. So yeah, that's this is more powerful than that. So yeah, okay, let's go. Oh, one more thing that I have got to tell you, just because it confused me and the wife. Under here, when you're putting it together, there's a chain. Don't cut that off. They use that for grounding against static. and all that sort of nonsense. By the way, as well, while I'm there, this is to undo it. So if you're using it as a wet affair, then you can undo that and just pour out all of the nonsense. So there we go. That's all of the tests that I can think of doing. Hopefully that's given you a solid idea of what's what and sort of some comparisons and all that sort of stuff. Now then, this is £99. It comes with a 3-year warranty. It's nice and easy to attach to your tools. It's got the power Takeoff. It's got the HEPA filter, which is super important to me, particularly at the moment with all this MDF work. And like I say, at 99 quid, I think this just has to be done. I think it's a bargain. It's small enough to mean that you can just sort of put it anywhere in the workshop if you've got a small workshop. You could, if you wanted to, put a cyclone on the top of it, and it would still be, you know, a nice manageable size, unlike the big thing I've got over there, which, to be fair, has its own home. But if you've got a small workshop especially, you could stick a cyclone on here and it would still be very, very manageable. That would also mean that you could probably just use the HEPA filter on its own without the bags on the inside. Now then, the power Takeoff I think is brilliant, because I'm a bugger for forgetting to turn the vacuum on when I'm doing stuff, and I've just found I've plugged my track saw into this, I've plugged my sander into it, and it's just made life so much easier. And it's also, you can get, if you want to, there are these cable clips that I can't remember, I think, does Stu do them? I can't remember. But Stu, if you watch this and you do them, let me know in the comments. But there are some cable clips that can also hold a power cord as well. Yeah, so that's an option if you want to do that. I think, yeah, it's great. I think it's a really good vacuum. I think the hose could be a bit softer, but it's for £99. I think the button can look less like a Tonka toy, but it needs to be seen from a distance away and be easier to turn on and off. So I think they're all absolutely fine. The fixtures and fittings, I mean, these are sort of plastic, obviously. There's the metal container, but otherwise there's a lot of plastic on it. But again, that's what you're going to expect for the money, isn't it? So all in all, I'm really pleased. They did send me this free for the purposes of review, and I'll leave a link down below. But I earn nothing from it. There's no sort of affiliate scheme going on there, so I don't earn anything. But if you use WWJ5, I don't know if you'll get a little discount off, so it might be worth giving a little crack to. But no, all in all, I think it's a brilliant little vacuum, and I'm really pleased to have it in the workshop. Now, I do know that they do a beast of a vacuum, which is like a triple motor monster, which is sort of a fair bit more money, but that's the sort of thing for a larger workshop, probably like this instead of my pneumatic. But that compares very favourably against things like the record powers and that kind of stuff, so it might be worth having a little look at. But no, as far as it goes, that's my opinion on this vacuum. Can't remember the model number of it. That's how professional I am. But I'll leave all the details in the description down below, and I'll try and remember to pin them in the top of the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Hope it hasn't been too long. Please consider subscribing if I've earned it, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.